The most beautiful offering in this universe is the offering of love. It's beyond, because it's actually the only thing that you can offer. If love is not being offered, then illusion is what you are dealing with. So to realize that only love can be offered, because it's completely what you are. It's completely what the universe is. So anytime that you are caught up in figuring things out to give and get, and because it's been already judged as good or bad, right and wrong, that's when the ego goes to work overtime. And love is just patiently waiting, never having gone anywhere, done anything to change anything that is the truth of love. And holding that exquisite truth for you, no matter how much time anyone wants to take or feels they have to take. God is always waiting. The divine is always just waiting in perfect harmony and peace. Nothing of truth changes. You can spin around and battle with things, or think of things, or think that there's an order in something that you know. And then you just keep coming back to, you don't have to do anything. Just allow. Just allow to be led, shown, until you recognize and remember, oh, that's what you truly are. You truly are just perfection, just perfection. So, and all love is asking of you is to be willing. Let the power of the universe in its divine alchemy move everything that needs to be moved, that you say yes, and imagine that you say yes to the divine power of God, and then the divine power of God shows up, because in that nanosecond here is all the truth of love. And all of a sudden you're going, wait, what's going on here? I don't have control over this. And that's the whole element of keep choosing the ego, because of the fear of the loss of control. As if you are orchestrating and controlling the universe. There's a beautiful teaching. I don't know where it's from. It's from The Perfection. But the teaching says basically, you who think you've got control over your life can hardly control your life, no less the universe. Because to try to control something that has nothing to control is just to play with imaginary fears. Imagine that you would go to school, and on the first day that you go to school, the teacher is writing on the blackboard words like limited, separate, slow, strange. And these lists keep going, and they all are kind of like that. And then she takes the eraser and she erases them all. And that teacher that is standing there is the Divine Mother, saying to you, none of this is true. You can think all the things you want about what you think you know, countering the idea that you're slow or less or anything else, and trying to counter it with achievement, so that two sides of the same thing are battling with each other. You hear that voice within that's saying, come on, get with it, do it right. How many times do you have to figure this out? And that voice, the lie, is fighting with the part that is trying, that is afraid of failure. And all of that is being erased because it never was true. The board is being erased, and all that you are asked to do is to let it go. Let go of all of those self-made symbols, those self-made ideas, and be sure that it is self-made. Where the ego mind wants to go to right away is, oh, well, but you see, this was done to me, so somebody should be responsible for this. At some point, everyone will accept that there is no other, that it's a mistaken identity of separation that never meant anything. Putting faith in the truth of love. Faith is what is needed. Faith is what is your strength. Faith does not show up automatically because love was forgotten. If love was not forgotten, faith would be just an element of wholeness, not something that you have to really focus on because you've forgotten faith, trust. And the trust that was used was the trust of the ego. Trust that voice that condemns and judges. But now is really what is calling to you is to finally let go of that familiar voice. It is so familiar because you think it's actually your own voice, but that voice is part of the illusion. And to truly accept that there is only love and you are only love. And that is what is waiting to be expressed. Is the beauty, the perfection of creation that doesn't even know those words, those meanings that have been so made up, slow, weird, poor, different. They're all the same. They're all fabricated. And that belief is holding a way of being in the world. That belief that those things are real, then participate in the development of a defense system. And now it's just time for it all to be released. Let go and come back to the reality of love. I use this prayer, I think it was the last satsang. And this was a prayer that was used only in the declaration of the sanctity of the sanctuary. Making a declaration that only the truth of love was allowed, that nothing else was invited, to check at the door all the knowing, all the ideas, all the figuring things out. Leave it at the door and declare the truth of what you want and what you invite. Consecration of the sanctuary. In the infinite circle of the divine presence, which completely envelops me, I affirm that there is only one presence here. It is harmony, which creates a vibration in all hearts of joy and happiness. Those who come and choose to enter here will feel the vibration of the divine harmony. There is only one presence here. It is love. God is love. Love is the unifying force of all beings. This sanctuary is filled with the presence of love. In love, I live, I move, and I exist. Those who choose to enter here will feel the pure and holy presence of love. There is only one presence here, it is truth. All that exists here, all that is spoken here is truth. Every thought is the expression of truth. Those who choose to enter here will feel the presence of truth. There is only one presence here, it is God, the life force of the universe. God is the essential life force of all beings, the grace of the mind. Those who choose to enter here will feel the presence of life within the grace of love. Through the esoteric symbol of divine wings, I am in harmonious vibration with the universal currents of wisdom, joy, and power. The presence of the divine joy is perceived by all those who enter here. The vibrations of love that come through thought are the forces of God within, which are stored here and radiated to all beings, thus creating a center of giving and receiving of all that is the truth of God and joyful and prosperous. I thank you, dear God, for this sanctuary is filled with your presence. I thank you for I live and move within you. I thank you for I live in your life force, truth, prosperity, peace, wisdom, happiness, and love. I thank you for all who enter here will feel your presence. I thank you for I am in harmony, love, and truth with all beings. And so it is. The esoteric wings of love. Over the mountains of despair, we will rise above. Over the heartache and the pain, upon the wings of love. The healing of our savage heart, gently by the dove, miraculously transforming us upon the wings of love. Terrible mistakes we think we've made, regrets we've undergone. Sometimes the hopelessness makes us forget the sun at dawn. All delight and joyousness, the tender mercies of Jesus, who carries our burdens upon the wings of love. I am light, and I give light. And I have the power of God within me to make everything shine. I see the divine in everything and the power of that love. The force of love is with me. And as I speak in the presence of that power, I am obedient and I follow, and I want to see everything return to love. The eternal love was inscribed upon my heart. From the divine, I received these teachings to offer to all beloveds. This is the direction that my Father takes me, and in the presence of the power of the universe, we follow and we return home. I'm only going to read one stanza, sing one stanza of it. Solus dolus, e faço todo iluminar. Vejo meu Pai nas alturas, eu podia onde está. A força está comigo, falo perante poder, faço o que não está me pedes, e quero ver esmerecer. When a hymn is received, it is received for the entire universe. when an inspiration is in your heart, it is from the entire universe, and it is for the entire universe. When you are in truth, when you are in the alignment of love and have let go of the identifier, then that whatever it is that you experience, words that want to come, they're all from the divine to the divine. There's no separate treatment of anyone or anything. Everything becomes just the natural connection. So every word that comes into a hymn, everything about it is for the universe and is from the universe. And every single teaching is universal. That is actually sometimes one of the most difficult parts of healing and remembering, is that everyone is so used to being embarrassed and ashamed, trying to hide identity, trying to hide secret thoughts and your own thoughts of yourself. And all of that hiding means so absolutely nothing, because everyone is absolutely carrying exactly the same thing. There is no differences in the illusion. They may all look different. Like one beloved might be demanding, want it this way, and be impatient for it to be that way. And another is waiting, but sure it won't happen anyway, so they're not putting any money on it. It's the same belief in the illusion. It's the same belief. It's just being expressed from one of its many thousands of facets. But it's all the same. And the healing is all the same. It can look different, but it's truly all the same. You don't have to act crazy anymore. You don't have to act crazy anymore. We all know that you were good at that. Now retire, my love, for all that hard work you do of bringing pain to your sweet eyes and heart. Look in a clear mountain mirror. See the beautiful ancient warrior and the divine elements that you have always carried within, and that infused this universe with sacred life so long ago. That same sacred life that you now carry, that you've always carried, and join you eternally with all existence, with God, because you don't have to act crazy anymore. When you contemplate how much investment there is in the identity, that really everything that you've put on as a part of the costume, part of the identity, every piece of it was a belief that was mistaken. Imagine, and there are some children that incarnate that are very, very close to waking up, very close to awareness, and some then awaken quickly. And those beloved beings look at the world and see the insanity. It would be like coming from a country that had no television, no computers, no whatever. Doesn't matter what it is. And not having any relationship to it. And yet there's no loss, even for a child that is aware, awake. They see the truth. And they're not disturbed by all the insanity the way that everybody is that believes in it. And that is what everyone is being called to don't have to act crazy anymore. And all it is really is, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm even seeing. I don't know how to look at it. But those words, I don't know how to look at this, that goes through a system in your computer mind. It goes through the system. I don't know how to look at this. And it's almost like an emergency button gets pushed. I don't know how to look at this. And the fear starts showing up because the interpretation of I don't know how to look at this is I'm in danger. If I don't know how to look at this, I'm lost. And it's absolutely the opposite. You are lost in the idea that you do know how to look at it, that you do know what you're seeing, that you do know what it means, because that's the package that you made of your belief system. Everybody did. But now it's time to let go of the hard work of bringing pain to your sweet eyes and heart. Can you spend a day in not knowing, in meeting and connecting in the deepest possible way with the vibrations of love that want to keep steering you and want to keep showing you the way back to peace, back to love? Of bringing pain to your sweet eyes and heart. I mean, nobody for the most part wakes up in the morning and says, today's a good day for bringing pain to my eyes and heart. And that would be a silly thing to say, more than likely. But in an essence, that's what the mind is saying when it knows. I want to bring pain to my heart, to what I see. And that's the crazy part. That's the part that, when you finally see it, it's like, wow. That is a lot of pain and suffering. And the only thing that's being called for is for you to just drop that knowing identity and come empty. And empty is not it's not a condemnation. Coming empty just means that you're emptying yourself of all of the things that you've made up. There's lots of symbolic ways of looking at how to let go. But there's no substitute for just the surrender, the disowning of what was made up. If something that you carry about what you think is real about yourself, say a personality part or a defense system, because it's the same thing. Say you look at a defense system and go, where did that come from? And how much of a defense system is it? And then you start seeing these defense systems that kind of touch everything. And is that you? Where did it come from? And you'll find that every belief has a story attached to it. Every belief has an identity with it. None of them being real, none of them being true, but being used every day as an identity. It is a very powerful place to say, I want to remember the truth. I want only the truth of love. And I don't have a clue how to navigate without help. And you don't have to. There's always the help in everything. Everywhere you turn, there's help. Maybe in the written word, it might be in a song that you hear, it might be in the way you feel, or the way you see something, or the way somebody speaks to you and you hear something new. And most of all, that you would never again have that idea or that sense of being different, inadequate, struggling, aging. It doesn't matter what it's labeled. It doesn't matter. It has nothing of the truth in it. Nothing. Because you are created as God, in God. And none of those elements exist in God. So they cannot be created by God. They don't exist. They're made up. To truly accept that they are truly made up. One of the most powerful teachings, at one of the core places, is that you are responsible for what you see and feel. That's not an accusation, it's just reality, that you are responsible for what you see and feel because it's coming from your own mind. You experience and you decide on the goal that you want. whether it's short-ranged or long-ranged or conscious or not. There's something that you want in whatever thought that there is. You choose either heaven or hell, pain or joy. Joy is reality. Joy is truth. Pain is illusion. But to accept that you are the commander of your mind is to recognize that you do have a choice, because God is leading you to the choice that is reality. The choice that is reality is willing to see that you want to see things differently. You want to see only through love. You want the pure and complete alignment with the truth of reality. And you don't want the pain of illusion. Test yourself of how fearful the lack of control might feel. To say that prayer, to want only the truth, to want to leave everything else behind and only be that love. And the willingness to drop everything that's not that love. And if there's a resistance, notice the resistance. And that too is another layer of self-sabotage, the ego's game of staying in control if it tries. And then go deeper and deeper with your intention that you don't want to wait. You don't want to play the game anymore of I know. I know, I know, I know. If you think you know, it is terrifying. Because you have to be right. You have to make the right decisions. You have to be in the right control. And so far that has eluded because it's the ego's intention to be elusive. It's not meant to complete itself. It's not meant to make a joyous experience. It can't. It can't make a joyous experience because there is no joy in the illusion. There's no harmony. There's no light. There's no peace. And that's what everybody experiences from one day to the next. Everything is measured by how good of a day did I have compared to the day that I had before. Instead of everything is perfect if you are in the surrender and allowing the light to lead the way. And that you don't want to act crazy anymore because there's nothing to get from it. The most, I say most, but it has a really strong track record. That the part that holds the deepest in the ego is that when you think you know, you actually believe it. When you think that you are figuring things out, you are believing that you are doing that and that you're on your own. But the whole purpose of every situation is to learn a deeper truth, a deeper way of coming home, a deeper lesson of what's in the way or what is needed. And when you're busy figuring and believing that what you are believing is true, there's always a surprise afterwards of like, wow, what happened? Why didn't it work? Not realizing that those beliefs were not helping you. The beliefs of figuring things out and thinking that there's something to control and an end result that is right because you think it's right. And we don't know. We don't know. But we have complete access to the knowledge of the world, to the wisdom of the universe, where everything that is, and is the divine intelligence of the universe. And nothing that's coming from the little mind has any connection to that. It's just making up a script, making up a story based on who you think you are. And all the while, the divine is holding you as the complete light of the universe. And only that is true. Nothing else can be true. So you don't have to act crazy anymore. It's time for the ego not to rule, not to have its way, and to see it for what it is, just fear, unworthy of you, because it has no reality. So let your heart burst, and let your mind run back to God for truth, for love, for grace.